Page 6-9.
This isn't mine.
Okay, thank you. 6-9. Come on. Everybody got their notebook open to page 6-9. 6-9. Who said no? Okay, 6-9. Okay, so we didn't quite finish everything yesterday. So we're actually not even to the launch part yet. We have to add some stuff to our notebook from yesterday before we can even get to Penny's lesson. Okay? And this first part, page 69 and 70, will be your first 6-point assignment. And then we have conceptual checkpoint as 5 points. Close up the book. We've got enough distractions with bells and such. I need y'all paying as much attention as we possibly can. Okay? The reason we're doing page 69 and 70, what you're going to write on 69 is pretty much going to be your answer for conceptual checkpoint. So I need to pay attention to it. All right? The other thing, just like everything in your notebook you can use for your quiz, everything in the classroom you can use for your quiz. So please read the room when you're taking your quiz. All right? Everybody with me on that? Hey, Sean, 69. I need you focusing, because yesterday you were all over the place. All right? You with me? All right. Okay. Share screen. I'm sure it'll take twice to share the screen, but we're going with it. We're going to try. Yep, knew it was going to stop. Because it's going to do that. It's going to do what it's going to do. Okay, so this question says, what do you notice about the location of earthquakes, mountains, and canyons? Right? That's what that top question asks. So that's asking us to go back to this map. So our mountains, where are they on your map?
They're like most of them are on the east.
Well, they're on the east coast of what? They're not on North Carolina only. This world has more than North Carolina. East coast of what?
Georgia. Peru.
What are these things called?
Earthquake.
These are not called earthquakes. What are these things called? These big land masses. They're not, the land masses are not called earthquakes. We have 7 large land masses on Earth. What are they called? What? Someone said it a moment ago. There are not 13 continents. 7 what? What's that? What? There are not 7 canyons. There are 7 what? Continents. North America is a continent. South America is a continent. Africa is a continent. Europe is a continent. Asia is a continent. Australia is a continent. And Antarctica is a continent. So on the east coast of North America, the east and west coast of South America, the east and west coast of Africa, the southern coast, they're on the edges of continents. That's exactly right. The mountains are on the edges of continents. Here, that's in the middle of a continent, isn't it? This one, you see where these mountains are right here? It's kind of in the middle, isn't it? This is in the middle of a continent too, isn't it? These are kind of in the middle too, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's because these 2 continents crashed into each other. There's a whole lot of volcanoes. No, I said it right the first time. Earthquakes and mountains in the middle of these continents, aren't they? And then in Australia, the earthquakes and volcanoes are in the middle of the continent, aren't they? Okay, so mountains can be found on the edges of continents and in the middle of the continent. Can we all agree on that? Look at the map. All right, volcanoes, are they also on the edges of continents?
No, they're in the middle.
Well, the volcanoes, do we have a lot of volcanoes on the edges of continents? Look.
Yes.
But do we also have a lot of volcanoes in the middle of the ocean?
Yes.
We don't really have mountains in the middle of the ocean, but we sure do have volcanoes in the middle of the ocean, don't we?
Yeah.
Look at all these. Not volcanoes, I'm saying it wrong. Earthquakes. Look at all the earthquakes in the middle of the ocean, right? And we have lots of volcanoes out there too, don't we?
Yeah.
They're on the edges of continents and they're in the middle of the ocean, right?
Yeah.
The volcanoes and the earthquakes, but not so much the mountains. But the volcanoes and the earthquakes are, right? So we can say that as a statement, correct? So just FYI, that's actually on the board on that poster already. I have it written there. Mountain ranges often occur on the edges and the middle of continents. Earthquakes are on the edges of continents and the middle of oceans. Volcanoes are on the edges of continents and middle of oceans. All right. So last hour, we managed to write that really succinctly right here. And I know it's a lot of words, but this is going to help you very much for your conceptual checkpoints. Earthquakes occur on the edges of continents in straight lines, because they literally are in lines, aren't they? And there are many in the middle of the ocean. Mountains are on the edge of continents. Some are in the middle of continents. Canyons are located on the edges and in the middle of continents, just like the mountains. Does that question ask about earthquakes, mountains, and canyons? This question right here will lead you to your answer for the conceptual checkpoint. Hear me out, because my students in my first block listened well. And out of the 14 people that were here this morning in first block, 9 made perfect 5 out of 5 A's.
That's good.
That's the highest A rate I've had this year on a quiz. Because that question right there, if you answer it that well, you know, if you word it like you need to, it will give you what you need for your quiz. Write all that.
Oh, look what they say.
Earthquakes occur on the edges of continents in straight lines, and there are many in the middle of the ocean. Mountains are on the edge of continents, and some are in the middle of continents. Canyons are located on the edges and middle of continents, like the mountains. What is it, Kayshawn? Yes, there it is. Something's poking my foot. Burr. Hey, Sean, you're not moving much closer when you turn your chair, do you? I mean, generally, you're 2 feet closer. Bless you. What is it? Right now, including the age of 15.
Not including the
I think normally you guys have 15. You guys have two classes. I think I look it up right now. $11. So that second question says, what do you notice about earthquake location and where we live? Are there earthquakes here?
No.
Okay. There are no earthquakes near where we live. Write that down. There are no earthquakes near where I live. I mean, I certainly didn't feel any on the way to work today. And if you feel the ground shake, it's because a dump truck just drove by.
You know what? Mountains are on the edge of continents, and some are in the middle.
Yes. Okay. We ready to turn to the next page? Come on, guys. It does not take long to write there. No earthquakes. No earthquakes. You need to write faster because we have a lot to go. Come on. Get it done. What is it? What? That's just what it is. Someone's papers are on the floor. Night. Night. Are those yours in the book? Again, this came from my poster that's on the board. Come on, Keishon. Come on. All right, Lucas, you've missed this first bit. I've got to keep going so we can finish everything. All right, so on the back, on page 70, it asks, what do you notice about the location of volcanoes, earthquakes, mountains, and canyons? So we kind of already discussed this when we were looking at the pictures, but let's go back again. So the mountains, they're on the edges of continents. Okay. Volcanoes and earthquakes, they're on the edges of continents too, but they're also in the middle of the ocean, right? Everybody agree on that? Okay. So I wrote this statement, but it's not quite true. They're all in the same location almost. They are all in lines and groupings. They are all on the edges of continents. Volcanoes and earthquakes can be in the middle of oceans, but mountains and canyons aren't in the ocean, are they? Okay. And then it asks, what do you notice about volcano location and where we live? There's no volcanoes near where we live. I didn't notice any of those on the drive here either today. I think we'll notice on the news if a volcano pops up suddenly.
I don't think that's
Yeah, I think it'd be talked about if the volcano suddenly pops up. Yeah, we're aware. You need to be right. If it takes you that long to write, Keishon, you need to be right. The volcanoes, earthquakes, mountains, canyons, they are all in lines and groupings. They are all on the edges of continents. Volcanoes and earthquakes happen to also be in the middle of the oceans. That's what called the tsunamis. Yeah. Earthquakes in the ocean cause tsunamis. Got it all?
Yep.
Okay, everybody have it? Okay, while you guys are finishing up, you guys can continue writing if you need to. Have a seat. What processes shape the features of Earth? What processes? Think about the processes that we've talked about. We've been talking about two processes for like over a month now. Weathering and what? And erosion. What does weathering do?
It
Breaks down rocks. Okay. What does erosion do? Moves away the rocks. Pieces that are already broken, right?
Yes.
What other processes have we talked about? To give you a hint. Yeah, the bacon. What about it? It can cause pressure. It can also do something else. What, Juliana? It can what? Not the making layers. It does something else. What, Kyle? It can what? It can move it suddenly. It can break and it can move rock. Okay? It can cause sudden shifts. All right? So it can crack Earth's surface. All right? What other processes have we learned about like yesterday and the day before? Volcanoes. What do they do? They erupt. They can make new layers because what do they come? What comes out? Magma, which turns into rock. And we saw that rock yesterday, didn't we? Okay. So that actually changes the landscape around it. Sometimes that volcanic rock covers grass and can turn a field into something that doesn't grow anything anymore. Sometimes it can change an area and actually make it fertile again because it superheats the area. Some areas actually need, some trees actually need it to get extremely hot, and that can be the thing that makes an area extremely hot and make the whole area fertile again. It, in various ways, can change an area, so it can change the landscape.
Is Hawaii very fertile?
Yes, in some areas it is. Okay, so can you describe some patterns that we've just investigated? Some patterns of Earth's features. I need people to stop moving desks around so I can hear when someone tries to answer a question. We all know it's hard to understand us behind the mask. I'm projecting my voice as much as I possibly can. I need y'all to stop making noises with the desk. All right, go ahead, Jana. What? Patterns in Earth's features that we have investigated. Volcanoes, what about them? No, patterns. Patterns. Pam.
They can, volcanoes and earthquakes can both be in the middle of.
They could be in the middle of oceans, or where else can they be? On the coast of what? Continents, okay. What about mountains? Where are they?
In the middle.
Middle of what? Continents, or where else can they be? On the coast, on the edge of continents. Where are you going to find canyons?
In the middle. On the edge.
So you're going to always find canyons where the mountains are, right?
Yeah.
Because the canyons need high land to carve into, right? So mountains and canyons, they're going to be together. That makes sense? Earthquakes and volcanoes are often going to be where canyons and mountains are too, but earthquakes and volcanoes will also be in the ocean, whereas mountains won't. Make sense? Okay. Earthquakes happen near mountains and volcanoes. Mountains and volcanoes are found near the edges of continents by the ocean. All right. I already had this poster done. That was supposed to take 10 minutes of your class time. Boom. It's already there. Mountain ranges often occur along the edges in the middle of continents. Earthquakes, which are, according to this thing, are processed, often occur along the edges of continents in the middle of oceans. Volcanoes, according to that, it's a feature, but we really, all of us think it's a feature and a process because it's a verb. They go off, right? And it's a feature. They often occur in bands along the edges of continents and the middle of oceans. All right, so what are those pictures on those big pieces of paper called?
How the Grand Canyon.
Right, but
The Grand Canyon features.
what do we call them in this class? They're anchor whats?
Anchor chart.
Nope, nope, you're copying someone's wrong answer. Anchor what? Well, a poster's called an anchor chart. Thing with words. What's the thing with pictures called? You had to make
Anchor
one.
model.
Anchor model. So we have to revise that. We have to add on our new information. What kind of rock do we know now in the Grand Canyon? Lava rock. So I have to add in some dark rocks somewhere in here. Where do I put them?
That's not ours. No, that's not ours. Ours is the one behind it. Remember, I'm the one.
Okay, so you want me to turn them over into lava rock?
Yeah. We have some water. Yeah. This Vancouver, we have some lava rock. Right by the plant. That's lava.
Oh, we do. We're adding more.
We add more.
I'm gonna roll down to the lava rock. Roll down the hill.
Oh, pink big one. The water.
Please stop moving my desk around. Please. Okay. We also need to make facts as evidence of what? No, not erosion, but not weathering. Earthquakes. Earthquakes. I don't know about that. How about we do it on this one? Yeah. We're going to have it where it's quite upwards. Well, where all the layered rocks came up. And then pieces of rubble down here. What do you call little pieces of rock? Sediment. The little pieces of sediment are down here. And just like that one, that's cracked rock from what process? Earthquake. So cracked rock from earthquake.
The cracked rock thing kind of blends in with
Well, it would in the Grand Canyon too. Okay, so those were the two things that they wanted us to add. Unless you can think of something else that gets added, because I have to add a whole lot of words. Okay.
What about the lava? Mountain.
Well, this already is carved out of the mountain. That's why it's high ground. So I can draw a volcano off in the distance.
What about the lava coming down? Oh, that was good.
We already have the lava coming down. Volcano in distance.
And the rock. The rock from the volcano.
And you like mountains in the distance?
This is already carved out of a volcano, out of mountain. It's full rock already. Okay, so I'm supposed to add a lot of information to it, so I'm going to do the same thing I did on first blocks and do it in a different color. So right now it's time for recess. So let's do the color. We're going to line up quietly. All right, I need everybody lined up quietly. All right, guys, lined up, lined up. More sanitizer on your hand, Tom. More sanitizer. Let's go. Let's go. I know I don't hear talking. Quiet. I forget PhD.
card, but I need to call during this time. What you need? I don't do signals. What you need? Anyway.
Lead balloon would be like, I would compare this mess. Crazy. This store, there were 45 comments on it.
Yeah, this lady's filled in on a little bit of it again. A little bit this morning.
Yeah, yes. We can't be boarding in 4th grade. And then Miss Lee this morning asked me, what's your favorite drink? And I'm like, Dr. Pepper normally, but last night it was something different. She started laughing. I filled her in why she saw what she did in the meeting today. She's like, I wish I would have known that before the meeting. Oh, Mr. Roach said, I'm going to be sitting between y'all. I said, thank you. So is your hamburger pretty good? Pretty tasty? More, can you make sure that I see the Asian notebook today?
Okay.
I just want to make sure I see it before I go home today.
Yes, because I didn't bring it down because we were doing it.
Oh.
And I just sent an email to all the teachers. This afternoon.
If she does the actual checkpoint, if you'll just send me a text with it, because that's going to be her only other grade she has left.
And we'll, and that, the next lesson,
That'll be today in a little bit.
okay.
That's our only remaining grade. Everything else. I just checked through. By the way, this is my son's contribution to I'm Sorry, Mom. Her thing going on. Then I'll turn around and bust that off. Crazy on big campus. Hybrid isn't easy for high schoolers either. Like, thanks for the cookies. Now get busy because you got 4 Fs. Yeah. Trying to make that poor apple. You stabbed it. Yes, Sam.
Is that what teenagers do? They just stop caring about their grades. Because my brother, he does not care about his grades.
Oh, Colby does. That's why he was shocked when I put up his grades. He was not very happy. I told him, good night. Have fun staying up working. I went to bed. It was 6:30. I'd already helped him with Spanish for an hour.
You have to take Spanish.
Yeah.
You have to do that or say it choice.
2 years of foreign language.
Why? That could be out college. I would think it's like to walk in the road or the AI or something like that. We don't have to be Spanish. I didn't know they had to take English. Well, and my mom said that when we got his classes with like different languages, I think it's something.
You have something?
Oh, I don't guarantee you don't do this. Okay.
If you can get it back to me Friday, that would work because I've tried to get a hold of Mom. I told him in class. He just never wanted to do the work. Bless you. What's needs? If any girls have cleaned up after themselves from lunch, go to the restroom. Talking over there at the table needs to stop, okay? Quite done. My goats might keep eating it, but everything else
What any animals?
What's that?
What any pets?
Bearded dragon, 3 dogs, 2 goats, 1 freshwater fish.
Oh, what's a bearded dragon?
Big lizard.
I thought those were water monsters.
No, water monitors can be dangerous. In my immune system, bearded dragons aren't the best, but I already have them. And he's really friendly. So I'm not gonna hurt him.
Really sweet.
We don't call F's just actual, right?
Uh-huh.
And yet 5 F's in total.
No, there's 4.
Oh, 4 F's was the actual plate.
Yeah.
I put
Oh, yeah.
F is
And he's a gifted student.
So when you
oh,
get
yeah.
high school,
He knew.
so when you get high school, you won't take is it a high or low F?
One is high, 3 are low. So you just, they don't get very many grades. And you have to go with one grade. So he had no clue.
So he made a whole
No, they just had to put in the grades. And all of a sudden they put in all the grades at one time. So he really did not know.
You don't work so hard for you. You see that it's ABC?
But now, starting Monday, it started full time, but she needs to be in.
Well, that was the bad part about was the AB schedule. Because then he isn't getting his full education like our social kids, and we're really kind of that makes it harder. So that's probably why he has all those F's because they do AB in his high school.
And he misses one class.
But
All right.
can I just sit that way?
Yes. That too. Yes.
I need to go to.
I know girls. I have a granddaughter.
How many boys?
Oh, goats too.
No.
I mean, girl goats. I have one grown. I smell my husband actually. Right next to the table.
Only one boy.
All right, guys, if you're finished with your lunch, throw away your trash. But anyway, we don't need to be talking, okay?
No.
Yes, yes. Not the prettiest. Go ram her.
Oh, I have to come from the book.
Like black and white. Yeah, she's little bitty. Like a small.
I got that tall too.
Did you guys see the goat with 4-H a couple years ago?
No.
Who did? That's my goat. That's
Really?
Isabel. I know she did. That's my goat. That's
Oh,
Isabel.
yeah, I remember that.
That's my goat.
Really?
Yes. That's Isabel. Craig brought her in the work truck. She's a sweet. Magic is even nicer than her, but he has horns. He'll ram Isabel, the girl. Well, that's one that we gave to somebody. Cookie was given to us. The mom, she was given to us, so we gave all her cookies away.
Oh, my friend, y'all gave cookies.
Yeah, big ears. Her horns we had very She was He's like male. So he doesn't act like a sweetheart. He is sweet.
Oh, Miss Van, for our little goat.
Very sweet. He's well raised.
We have a water bottle that eats all black. White water and make it annuity.
Like a cow.
So do it.
That's the other thing. He's like a cow. You're probably smaller than
We have a she has one.
What? All right. I gave you a white one. I threw it to you earlier. Oh, okay. All right, I need to talk and stop. You're done with your crack, throw it away. I know Mr. Broadway throwing his crack. Throw it away. Which of my boys are still going to the restroom? No, which of my boys are still going to the restroom? Audrey's gone. Nobody's gone. Audrey.
Nobody.
Okay, Sean, your chair is pushed out again. Trip, go. Trip, go. I need to talk and stop. Broadway, go. Do not play. Hey, Sean, do not talk, do not play, go. Very good. Have you gone to the restroom? I'll stop playing. Have you gone to it? Whether you've gone. You've gone already, right? Jeremy, you've gone too, right? Okay, as a reminder, you get your last 2 grades for the 9 weeks today in science. The first grade is going to be the 69 and 70 at course 6 points. Your conceptual checkpoint is your very last grade with 5 points. Why do you think I made the other grade work for more? I'm trying to emphasize that the quizzes to me shouldn't be the things that count the most. It's your daily work. Every single day you're having to put in hard work. It's your daily work that to me matters more. I could have made this worth 4 points because it's 4 questions, but I made it worth 6, just so it would be a point more than the conceptual checkpoint. Okay? Maybe a minute. Tomorrow again, you will have Mr. Thomas in here. And my printer at home was being stubborn, and what it was is my internet at home. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. It started out working really well, and then it started going really slowly. So for 40 minutes, it was trying to print out 110 pages, and it still could not finish printing out those pages. I was like, seriously. So as soon as school ends, I have to go home stuff that I hope printed while I was in school all day. And then come back up here to make the copies. So there's 9 pages that are in black and white that I have to make copies of for all of you guys. The 110 pages were 22 copies, because I have 22 people in my largest class that are in color. Okay, and that's what you're going to be doing. It's you're not doing work on volcanoes and mountains. Instead, it's kind of a review on the West. You know, we did the work on regions. So it's social studies review on the West region. And it incorporates the economy, natural resources, physical features of the West region. Okay? So you will have a packet that you'll have to use. First block will use it, then second block will use it, then third block will use it. When it's in color, because I wanted you guys to have the best images to look at. And then you'll have several pages to do that are in black and white. So I'll fill them out. Okay?
I have a question. It's not for white. Yeah.
Okay, everybody got this earlier, right? Has everybody had a chance to go to the restroom? Anybody not go to the restroom yet? Asia, are you gonna go some more? Is she gonna take you to the restroom? Okay. Has everybody else gone to the restroom? Everybody. All right. I've already given you a new one. Stop playing. Oh, I guess I gotta take out the trash. That'd be a nice thing to do. Okay. So everybody finished this before we went to recess, right? All righty. So I need to find my book. Oh, it's up there.
We revised our anchor model to make this black lava rock and crack the rock here and say it's from an earthquake, right? Now we just need to add all this written material. At some point, there was volcanic activity. Yeah. In the Grand Canyon. How do we know that? Oh, because there's dry lava in the Grand Canyon. In the Grand Canyon, as shown by some of the rock layers. Also, some of the rock layers. Not line up exactly. And have diagonal cracks along them. Your parents did not learn about that in fourth grade. You guys learned a lot already in science.
Okay. Now, this was a way of learning about Earth processes while talking about the Grand Canyon. Okay. Your conceptual checkpoint won't involve the Grand Canyon. I mentioned this because I had several people, the ones who did not make the 5 out of 5, they tried to make the conceptual checkpoint about the Grand Canyon.
That's not what we're talking about.
But the Grand Canyon exists on what continent?
Any continent.
No, Grand Canyon is not on any continent. North America. Okay? It's not on any continent. It's only on North America. Okay? Please understand that's the name of a specific place. It's not the name of every canyon, is it? We've looked at several canyons, have we not? I showed you pictures of a canyon in North Alabama yesterday, didn't I? And it's not named Grand Canyon, is it?
No.
It's named the Little River Canyon. We've looked at a canyon in Africa. We looked at a canyon in Tibet, which is part of China. We looked at a canyon in Peru, in South America, yes. So they're not all called the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is only in the United States. Got it?
Got it.
Please don't mention the Grand Canyon in your answer unless you're comparing the Grand Canyon to this other one that's in your quiz today, okay? Got it? Okay. Okay, so we've done anchor model. So we have one more thing to do before we get to conceptual checkpoint. You guys are going to have a lot of time to do your conceptual checkpoint. Grand Canyon. Oops. Mr. Lucas has not come back. Lucas McCain. Rivers carve canyons. When they cut down into the earth, canyons grow deeper. As weathering and erosion break apart their walls, canyons grow wider. Over time, rivers wash all of the eroded material away. These processes, trying to make a word off that strength this Elmo. There we go. We're looking at the Elmo. These processes have been at work for millions of years, relentlessly excavating the mighty gorge. Remember you asked what the word gorge means? Relentlessly excavating the mighty gorge known as the Grand Canyon. Okay? How canyons are carved. He keeps missing content when he comes late. Canyons are carved by rivers, but not all rivers carve canyons. To cut a canyon, a river must flow across high terrain, terrain means land, and carry sediment in its water. Guys, I need everybody looking at my smart board. Trip, smart board. Nice, smart board. I need all eyes that way. To cut a canyon, a river must flow across high terrain, which means land, and carry sediment in its water. The elevated land gives the river something to carve into. And the higher the elevation, the deeper the canyon can be. The actual carving is done not by the river water, but by sediment in the water. As sand, gravel, and most importantly, boulders roll downstream and strike the river bottom. They chip away at the bedrock and deepen the canyon. The more sediment there is and the larger the rocks, the greater the river's ability to deepen its channel. Canyons grow wider as their walls erode and send debris tumbling into their rivers. This added sediment increases the river's cutting ability as it is washed downstream and eventually removed from the canyon. Rivers deepen canyons when sediment chips away at the bedrock. So this is similar to what we looked at before with glaciers. Glaciers carve out land because of the rocks at the bottom of it. Rivers carve out land because of the pieces of sediment or the chunks of boulders that roll because of the river's force. It's not necessarily the water that's carving out the land. It's the rocks and the sediment that the water carries that's chipping away at the land. Does everybody see that? Okay. Hey, Sean, back to your seats. Okay. According to what I just read you, what was the most important feature that formed the Grand Canyon? What water? The Colorado River. According to the reading, what processes did the Colorado River cause that led to the formation of the Grand Canyon? What two processes we've been talking about for so long? Weathering and erosion. And it carved the land, right? How does this compare with what we have learned? Does this match what we've been learning? Put the mask on. Thank you. And then cover your nose with it. Thank you. There you go. How does this compare? Does it match up with what we've been learning? It does. It just kind of deepens our learning, right? Because we hadn't precisely said before that the sediment is what is carving out the land. So that was an added bit of information, right? But we have been talking about rivers doing carving before, right? We've said, and I showed you guys pictures yesterday, that the river is something that runs through every canyon, correct? So this matched up to that. This just furthered our learning, correct? It's like another puzzle piece. You can say that, right? Okay. So now turn to page 71 in your notebook, okay? Everybody turn to page 71. This is your map in black and white. I'm going to show it to you in color, and then I'm going to explain to you your map in black and white, okay? Your question, I actually hand wrote next to the color map. Your pencil's over here. This is called a relief map because it actually shows you the elevation of the land. Stop drawing on the map so you can pay attention to the question. I'm one of those that doodles to pay attention, but a lot of my students just draw and they do that to ignore the teacher. Okay? Don't need that. I need my students focusing on the teacher. All right, so here is your map in color. Having a hard time showing you the map and the words. Okay, so everywhere is brown on this map. That's high land, high elevation. What would be a land feature that has high elevation?
Mountain.
Mountain. No, mountain. Where you see dark brown is mountain. So here, mountain. Here, mountain. 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 Mountain, mountain, mountain. Yes, there is. This is Australia. So that's not North America, is it?
No.
This is Australia. Got it? Okay, so here is your prompt. Imagine you are planning an expedition to a canyon in Australia, like John Wesley Powell planned an expedition to the Grand Canyon. First, predict where a canyon might be found in Australia. Use the Australia relief map to identify an area. Put your pencil down because I need you listening. Use the Australia relief map to identify an area to explore and mark it on your map. So you're going to need a colored pencil. I don't care what color. Listen to me before you move. Listen to me. You're going to mark on your map with a colored pencil where the canyon is. Now hear me out for the rest of this. Then write an explanation, all those lines underneath that. Because right after I explain this, and someone asks me, what do I write on the lines? What goes on the lines is an explanation with evidence describing why you chose that location. Now, on page 69 and 70, we wrote, stop moving those blasted desks. We wrote where canyons are found relative to mountains, didn't we? We also wrote where earthquakes and volcanoes are found. Now this map shows us where what is found? Mountains. Okay? You can see on this colored map where mountains are found. And let me show you something on your black and white map. These really dark areas are where mountains are. I know it's black and white, it's not colored, but in black and white, you can very clearly tell where your mountainous areas are. But here's the part I need to have in writing. You have on page 69, kind of the rules, so to speak, about where mountains are found, right? That they're found on the edges of something or in the middle of something. You also have written where canyons are found relative to mountains, correct? You could also throw in your statements where earthquakes and volcanoes are too. I know it's not in your picture, but you could put this in your explanation just to show me what you know. Is that clear? So you're going to show me with an X or a circle or something where you think a canyon could be found. Please don't color in a huge area. I had several people color in huge areas where they thought a canyon could be. And I'm like, yo, that would be one massive canyon, don't you think? Yes. What, would it just be like a hole drilled in Australia? Please don't do that, okay? You could do an X in a color. I don't care what color. Please don't make it such a light yellow that it doesn't show. If I can't tell, you're gonna get a 0. It could be a little X. Again, I'm not worried about where a volcano is unless you're adding that to your explanation. But you're showing me where a canyon will be found, okay? Your explanation is, why did you choose that spot for your canyon? Tell me kind of the rule about where canyons are found and where mountains are found. If you want to add in where volcanoes and earthquakes are, more power to you, okay? Everybody understanding the assignment? Fabulous. Well, if you just tell me why you chose that spot for your canyon relative to mountains, and you gave me a legit spot for your canyon, that's going to be a 5 out of 5 anyway. Anything beyond that's gravy on it. Okay? All right. If you borrow a colored pencil, just remember to return it to me. Please don't talk. It is a quiz. Oh, and by the way, you can use a color if you have color and not colored pencils. I'm fine with the color. Just, I need you to show me in some way where your canyon is and then explain it in words, okay? Not talking, Tayshawn, and I don't know why you're looking at someone else's notebook. Not multiple, just one. One color. Here's your notebook, Weston. Where's your notebook? You weren't supposed to do the actual quiz at home.
I don't know.
Mark where you think the canyon is. Explain why you chose this spot. Wherever you think it is. Why you chose this spot. Remember, guys, page 69 and 70 are where you'll find your reasoning. Not talking. You're done. Bring me your notebook. Remember, you have to give me evidence for why you chose that spot.
Don't have to be one spot.
One spot, but you have to give me evidence for why you chose that spot. And it's not the Grand Canyon, it's a canyon. Because that's not North America. Please refer back to the other pages in your notebook, guys.
Okay.
I know you're not right on my desk. I don't have a copier anymore. I have to do this a different way. I have to take a picture with the phone and go home with Bluetooth my phone to my printer and print them at home. So if you see me taking a picture, it's because you made a 5x5. I'm going to print it. I put up new. Yes. Nice. job. Why is there talking out loud?
How do you spell it?
Originally, Originally. Stop talking. If you have a question, raise your paw. Oh, hold on, Jay. I gotta check something out. Drop these off. Just see if I can. Someone's sending messages. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Lucas and Deasia, did you guys get the question from the little conceptual checkpoint? I'm not hearing from you guys, so I'm guessing you did. I'll take a picture and send it to you this more.